across campus, online and on 12:51 AM. This is your student radio station.
So I'm joined now by Sarah from the amazing synth pop quartet. If you're happy with synth pop, is that a good genre for you?
Synth pop, dark pop,
whatever. I'm going to talk about dark pop later. I really like dark pop. So I'm joined by Sarah McTaggart from the amazing synth pop quartet Transviolet. How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. And first of all, I've got to say welcome to Birmingham. How are you finding it? And how are you finding King's Heath, which is the tiny town we are now in?
I dig it. This is our second time in Birmingham, and the first time round we were at the bigger part of Birmingham, like near the flea market and the cathedral and everything. Yeah. So I kind of like this little area. I just went to the 99p store and got myself some stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually really glad you didn't slag it off, because I actually live literally a minute down the road. This is my hometown, so if you said it was rubbish, I'd be like mortally offended. Awesome.
No, I like it.
And you're in the middle of a European tour, so how are you doing? How was Brussels? You were there yesterday, weren't you?
Yeah, it was great. We didn't really know what to expect. We got there, it was like a festival. No one really let us know until we were there. We're like, oh, this is like a big thing. And yeah, this is our first time playing in Brussels, so we weren't really sure what our fan situation was going to be like over there. When we were first setting up, there was like 8 people in the audience. I was like, we might just be playing to 8 people in this like huge room, but no, it filled up like right before we started playing, so it was good. Yeah,
I was going to say, what's it like coming to Europe? Because I know you guys are pretty big in America, but over here I guess it's something that's quite new for you, because you've only got one EP at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's always like a bit of a surprise. You don't know what to expect. So yeah, you're not really sure when you get to any venue, if it's going to be shit or if there's going to be anyone there. It's always like kind of you don't know.
And do you like the smaller venues? I can tell you the likes of Ed Sheeran have actually played at Hare and Hounds here before, so you're following in a kind of a musical heritage, I guess, so far as Birmingham can offer.
I enjoy either one. It's it's there's pros and cons to both, but yeah, I enjoyed the intimate setting of a smaller venue. Yeah,
and let's talk about your music, because I really like the interviews I've seen with you. You sort of talk about a kind of more complex form of pop music, like a dark pop and a synth pop. So who would you kind of align yourself close to? Because obviously the housey comparisons, you always hear them, but I was getting a bit of Fantagram.
Ooh,
if you've heard of them.
Yeah, do you of course. Yeah, I love Fantagram. We're actually on the same label as her new kind of side project called Big Grams.
There you go.
Just Big Boy and Fantagram. So yeah, I have mad respect for her and what she's doing with pop music.
Yeah, I saw her supporting Muse, so kind of a little show there just to warm up.
Yeah, it's a little bit show.
And New York synth pop, that's just blowing up right now, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And dark pop, I really want to address this, because I think your song Girls Your Age, you've got a beautiful way of describing the way you write lyrics. You said in an interview, I collect words and phrases that evoke emotion. And it kind of made me think like that kind of interview in particular you did. I think girls kind of grow up, because you're addressing these kind of themes like sexism and feminism. I think girls grow up in this age kind of expecting like Disney princes as guys, and then they find the reality is kind of a bit skewed from that. So is that that's what I felt one of the themes you're addressing. Is that part of your dark pop theme? What's that song about to you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just my personal coming of age story, and just trying to tell it as truthfully as possible without kind of trying to shine it up or make it anything that it wasn't. I think as girls, we're kind of taught to hide how we are and hide our sexuality and hide any kind of negative emotion, and so with that song I really wanted to bring light to how it was growing up as a girl in America in the 21st century.
Absolutely. A bit of a musical Bildungsroman, if you know the term.
No,
that's a German term. It's like a coming of age story.
Oh, yeah,
I'm just I'm a university student, so I'm just being pretentious.
That's great.
Well, but you guys are making meaningful pop, so it's like you work that stuff in. It's really good. And your lyrics kind of jail baby running after men in their 20s. It's like really brave of you to put that in pop music. It reminds me of a band called Everything Everything, who are writing about terrorism in pop music. So it's a bit of a innovation you guys are leading. I really like that.
Oh, thank you.
And obviously I think you address that kind of theme of sexuality as well. You name drop the Greek god Adonis in one of your lyrics.
Adonis,
so it's that kind of idea of coming to terms with sexuality, but also being kind of vulnerable and naive at the same time, do you think?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to encapsulate the whole experience of coming of age and sexuality as a female, because it's like, I think we're taught to choose a side. You're either an innocent or a prude, or you're a slut and you're sexy, but it's like there's no one is either one. We're all in between.
A middle ground.
There's that gray area that we all kind of dance in between, and I think you're as you're growing up, as you're coming into your own sexuality, you're trying to have to straddle that line, and figure out what that means for your own sexuality. Because obviously you're going to be both. There's going to be times when you're innocent and you're prude, or you're scared, or you're vulnerable, and then there's other times you feel confident and you want to take the reins. And for me, growing up, I was interested in older men, and just kind of complicated and controversial, so I just wanted to try to describe it in a song and sort it out. Sort out my own
I get it.
Too. It's like, because now that I'm older, it is kind of strange looking back and thinking, okay, I was, 14, 15 years old, and I was seeing men that were 18, 19, 21, 24 years old. It's like, how do you... I don't know how to think about it now, you know what I mean? And so I think a lot of that is just me trying to sort out my own emotions about the subject. Yeah,
no, it really resonates with me. Actually, I dated a girl who was 15 when I was 17. It's kind of weird to see the way people react to it a lot, I think. And I think it's hard for young girls because it's kind of like very hard for them to... It's like you say, you're either kind of this sweet innocent girl, or you're like a slut if you're
you can't do anything right.
Exactly.
It's like you're either a prude or you're a slut. It's like there's no, you can't win either way.
And do you think it's getting better? Do you think, say, girls in 10 years' time, maybe if you guys are leading some kind of cultural movement, without trying to get too over the top and too...
No, I think the more we talk about it and the more we bring light to the situation, the more we can normalize, women having sexuality. Because what's funny is, in movies and in culture and pop culture, it's very normal to write teenage boys as being sexual.
Absolutely.
It's like at 15, boys are sexual, they want sex, and then girls are always the opposite. They don't want sex. They're prudes. And that's not true. It's like when we're growing up, we think about sex too, and girls want sex too. It's we're all just humans. Yeah,
and moving from kind of girls your age and the darker themes to New Bohemia, which really, listening to it, I got to have a smile on my face because it's really like an upbeat kind of... I kind of got a bit of Lord Royals from it, because you've got the social commentary kind of interwoven in it, but then you've also got the synthy feels, like the Phantogram and the housey in there, and it's quite an empowering song, isn't it?
Thank you. Yeah, that's what we're going for, is to try to give a voice to our generation and empower people to find their own opinions, find their own voice.
And you mean Bohemian in kind of the artistic sense?
Definitely, creatives. It's like a creative community, counterculture sense of the word.
And going to have to address now, it's not really an elephant in the room, but I think something that a lot of people are aware about with you, the support from Harry Styles, obviously. If you've ever written a line of lyrics other than nipping at my heels, but young so I running, obviously I'm guessing you had no idea that he would pick up on that. Was it something you were aware of, him being a fan, or was it completely out of the blue?
Completely out of the blue. Yeah, I wasn't even at home when it happened, and I think my phone was off or something, and all of a sudden I was getting, when I finally did turn my phone on, there was 30 notifications or something from, the band and the guys and our management and stuff. And they're like, what the hell is going on? And I was like, I have no idea.
That's One Direction.
So it was a big surprise and obviously very flattering.
Yeah, 150,000 retweets or whatever. Yeah. And is that something you regard as exclusively positive, or do you feel to a certain extent when something, with those guys in particular, they're so popular that you almost start to lose control of your songs artistically if they get shared by that many people? Is it something you see as only positive, or do you worry sometimes that if it's indirect, if it's not you guys directly that they're sharing,
I think however the music gets shared, the idea is, or at least my idea when I write songs, is to try to share it with as many people as possible. So however that happens is possible.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll just head into the final stage of the interview and some maybe more quick-fire questions, if that's good with you.
Sure.
Awesome. So first of all, if your band was an animal, what would it be and why?
Ooh, if our band was an animal, it would be a jaguar, because we're ferocious but also very cuddly.
That is very good. A very light answer. Your best gig memory?
My best gig memory was in Glasgow, Scotland. I was walking out into the crowd and everyone started trying to grab me, and it was a lot of fun.
Sounds it. Snapchat or Instagram?
Instagram.
Album of the year?
Ooh, that's so hard.
So far?
It's too hard. I don't know, too hard. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. We'll readdress it. So, if you had a dream dinner party with three famous people... you've got it. Album of the year. Go on.
Yeah, Dopamine.
Dopamine. Fantastic. So, dream dinner party with three famous people. Who would you pick? And kind of briefly why?
Jennifer Lawrence, because I think she'd be a lot of fun. And she'd be funny. Yeah. Tom York, because I'd like to pick his brain, and he's one of my idols. And Paul McCartney, because he's also one of my idols, and I just want to know what it was like being that famous in such an amazing time in history.
Do you know, it's really cool you've said Tom York, because my next question is Muse or Radiohead, and you can say
Radiohead.
That's a big one. That's fair.
Radiohead, yeah.
It's fair. I mean, I think like I love both, but people kind of get into like one or the other. And
I'm a huge, like, Radiohead is literally like probably my favorite band of all time, so it's like a no-brainer.
So
for me.
thoughts on the new album then? I'm really loving it.
I really like it. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are saying it's not as good. Yeah, I feel like there's like mixed reviews, or some people are kind of disappointed because it's not like. But what I'm confused about is like people are like, oh, it's not like their old stuff. I'm like, yeah, but it hasn't been like their old stuff in a while. And that's the whole point.
That's the whole point of Radiohead. They move on. Exactly.
Yeah, they evolve. It'd be so depressing, and people would shit on them if they were doing the same thing that they were forever. They'd say, oh, it's just the same old shit. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Any Radiohead covers coming up tonight?
No, not. I don't think we could do it any justice.
Well, somewhere down the line. If you do Radio 1 Live Lounge, you know what to do.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So
that could be a bit sacrilegious or something.
That's fine. The next one is kind of a bit of a Warwick University specific one. How do you think you say this word here?
Zananas.
So it is pronounced shananas. This is well, I think it is. We have a restaurant or like a cafe in our student union, and it's on the second floor, and that's how its name is spelled, and no one knows how to pronounce it. So we need to kind of work it out. It's like a learning process. Shananas.
I feel like if it's going to be shananas, it should be shananas.
Shananas is the way you can pronounce it. And
shananas,
finally,
like
shananas. That could they could be a band. And the final question: if you could say one thing to David Bowie, what would you say?
Oh, thank you
question.
for all the amazing music and everything you've contributed and made possible for artists of the future.
Absolutely. And before we close off, I know you haven't announced it yet. Can you tell us anything about your album, or maybe hint at when it might be coming out? Is it secret?
Very soon.
Very soon. So when you say album of the year, you weren't sure, you could be like, maybe our album? If you were being immodest.
I'm not that immodest.
That's cool. So thank you so much, Sarah.